right. In the name of Amen the Supreme, the all powerful, the one and only true Lord. And Amen we trust. And Amen we thank. And in Amen we continue forward forever. Good evening. I'm your host, the Intellectual Lord Benjamin Manhattan. And this is High and Mighty Thoughts with me, the Intellectual Lord Benjamin Manhattan. And today, you already know what I'm going to be discussing. It's already up there. It's popular. And I'm not discussing it just because it's popular. Yeah, partly because it's popular, but also because of the turns and twists that it's taken. I talked about this somewhat. I did a whole bro. I went in on. I was raw and uncut. I just stated my thoughts on this, and I was like, I kind of knew something like this was going to happen. Honestly, after the after the case with what's the guy the white guy on the train. What's the white guy on the train in New York City? I kind of knew this was going to happen. Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely. I kind of knew this was going to happen. I said, watch. For all of the times in which, Caucasian males have taken the lives of so-called black males, for all of the times, from Jordan Neely to George Zimmerman to Trayvon, and Trayvon Martin, and to countless others, where the self-defense, um, you know, where the self-defense claim was made, um, I found it like, I said, this is so, I said, watch, something's going to happen. I knew it. I could feel it. Right after that, I said, something was going to happen. Penny, thank you. I knew something was going to happen after that. I said, watch. But I said, this time, it's going to be reversed. And these people are going to show you exactly, their true colors, for no pun intended. They want to show you their true colors as to, their mindset of fairness. Hold on, let me close my door to my office so it's my children being boisterous, they being children. So we're going to talk about this. I'm going to get some water. My water machine. One second. All right. So I saw this coming, and I was like, these people are going to show their true colors, because for all this time they were sitting up here hiding behind the law, the law, stand your ground. Even though in New York State there's no stand your ground law, and what Daniel Penny got away with was criminal. What he got away with was criminal, not because he choked out a so-called black man. I would have said that if he choked out a white man, a Hispanic man, or any man. You see, this is the difference between us and them. I'm talking about us, and as far as people who are dealing with right and wrong, not black and white. Because again, I didn't start talking about this because of the black and white aspect. I don't care about the black and white aspect. I don't feed on black and white. I'm a man of living color, and I'm a man of living intelligence. And I look at things, in the full spectrum. I look at things in a very full spectrum. I don't look at things between black and white. If he was wrong, if the kid was wrong, if Karmelo Anthony was wrong, and he willfully just ran at these guys and stabbed the guys and whatnot, and it just went in there and jumped. I would say he's guilty. He should go to jail. He should pay. I would say that, and I'm sure a lot of our people would say that. A lot of our people would say, if this kid was really guilty, then we would say that he should go to jail. A lot of our people have that mindset. A lot of our people have that balanced and fair mindset that a lot of racist Caucasians, and it's a lot of them, a lot of racist Caucasians don't have that mindset. They're not mentally evolved. That what you're seeing is a bunch of cave people, a bunch of primitive cave people who scream about the law, who scream about law and order, but they really base their so-called belief in law and order on color, on so-called skin color. Their basis of law and order is based on skin color. In other words, if you're Caucasian or anything other than so-called black, then you got the right to stand your ground. You got the right to stand your ground. You got the right to apply as much force that you feel is needed, maximum force to we as you could take somebody's life if you feel threatened, right? Now that's the stand your ground law. That's the stand your ground law. A man by the name of Bird, I think his name is James Bird. I'm sorry if I James Bird. He just recently got off. He beat a case. This was in Pennsylvania. He had a barber shop out there, and this crazy, bugged out Caucasian male decided to attack him, and he was attacking him, um, over a span of probably a couple of years from what I'm hearing about it, and one day it came to a head, and the guy had to Bird, who was a war veteran, United States military, injured in action, owned his own barbershop, decorated. I think he was decorated, if I'm not mistaken. And he fought for this country, and he had a right to carry a firearm. And this individual, attacked him. And this man, like I said, he didn't have any obligation to retreat. He had no obligation to retreat. He didn't have to turn and run anywhere. That's not what stand your ground is. The definition is in the very term itself. Stand your ground. It didn't say retreat on your ground. It didn't say turn and run on the ground or leave or run like they tell so-called black people to do. It didn't say, well, just, why don't you run? If you could run, if you could get away, if you could go and fly into the heavens, wherever you go, just disappear, then do that. No, it don't say that with the stand your ground law. It says simply that. Stand your ground. You could stand and defend yourself if someone is trying to attack you. And if that be with deadly force, then so be it. And all of these Caucasians, right? And I'm not going to just say them. Everybody agrees, so-called supposedly agrees with that, except when it comes obviously to so-called black people, as we're seeing in this case right here with Karmelo Anthony and the kid Austin Metcalf. Now, it is sad that, it is, I'll say it's a shame that the young man Austin lost his life. I'll say it's a shame. It is a shame that he lost his life. Nobody wants to see anybody lose their life. You see, nor me being a father, I would never want to see my child have his life taken. The most terrible thing is for a father to have to bury his child. You see, I would be horrified if that happened with me. And I do, sympathize with the father of Austin Metcalf. I do. I'm not a cold-hearted person. I'm not one of them people that'd be like, he got what was coming to him and things like that. I would never say that. It's very unfortunate. Very. However, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. The one who's to be held accountable, the one who's not being held accountable for this tragic event, the one who's not being held accountable is Mr. Metcalf, Austin's father. He's not being held accountable. And why do I say he should be held accountable? Because the very same way that people said that Jordan Neely's father should be held accountable, the very same people that said Jordan Neely's father should be held accountable for what his son did, because they kept talking about where was he when his son was out here doing this, that, and the third, and they tried to hold his father accountable like they do with a lot of so-called black people. They try to hold them accountable for what their children do. But why isn't Mr. Metcalf being held accountable for what his son did? Because his son was a minor. His son's 17 years old. His son was raised by him, and his son, if anything, he should let his son know, don't go around bullying people. Don't go around putting your hands on people. Don't go around invading people's space. Keep your hands to yourself, because you could lose your life. You see, like I said, people are not going to play with you. People are not going to play. People are not going to play with you. And if you invade people's space, especially somebody like Carmelo Anthony, who is, from what I hear, 100 pounds lighter than him. The kid Austin Metcalf weighed about 230, 240 pounds. If I'm not mistaken, him and his brother's about 6'2". They was twins. And they approached a guy who was under 5'10", like between 5'8" and 5'9", something like that, might be even shorter, and weighed 100 pounds less. Weighed 100 pounds less than these guys. And they thought to approach him, right? And in the rain, and tell him to get from up under some tent. They came all the way down. A witness said they came all the way down from someplace else, another tent, and started doing, and started harassing him. You see? And where was this kid going to run in the rain? Where was he going to retreat in the rain? Do I think it was premeditated? Of course not. Why would they say he came there looking for trouble? Who goes to a track meet? And he's a track athlete, by the way, with a high grade point average in the 3s or 4 point, close to 4 point. And a young man who has his life ahead of him, a track athlete doing good. I think he also played football. And here's a young man that had his life ahead of him. Why would he throw his life away for something like this? Why would he throw his life away and risk spending the rest of his life in jail for something like this? Why? So when people say he went there looking for trouble, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life. Who does that? What person in their right mind goes looking for problems like that? Right? And it's not like you can do something like that and get away with it. It's not like you can do something like that and just disappear and whatnot. He got family there and whatnot. He did not intend to stab this boy or kill the boy. He only stabbed him once. He didn't stab him multiple times. He stabbed him one time, but it just happened to be a fatal blow. That happens. That happens when you are in the commission of a crime, which is what Austin Metcalf did when he attacked this person, because they want to act like you got the racist media out here acting as though this kid, Carmelo Anthony, like the basketball player, that he's somehow guilty of for defending himself, that he's somehow a troublemaker, that he somehow should be punished for doing what he did, which was protect himself. Asking why he walking around with a knife. Who in Texas, people walking around with guns. People walking around with more lethal weapons than knives. People got guns. That's a open carry state. You don't think people carrying knives around too? And they said it wasn't no big butcher knife or thing. It was some kind of knife you put up a tent with, something like the black knife. But my point being is that this kid, he had his whole life ahead of him. And I'm pretty sure he wished it wouldn't have happened. I'm pretty sure that he wished he wouldn't be sitting in jail, just like I'm pretty sure Austin Metcalf's father wished he would have told his son, leave it alone, son. Leave it alone. Don't bother people. And the worst person you could bother is a little person, a person who's smaller than you. The worst person you could bother, the worst person you could pick on is somebody smaller than you. You see? The fact that they sit up here giving him $1 million bail is telling you everything. He's not supposed to have no $1 million bail. He's not no flight risk. He hasn't been in trouble before. Why are they giving him $1 million bond? It's sad because I really don't think he's going to get a fair trial in Texas. He's not going to get a fair trial. He's not. The Justice Department should step in on this. The Justice Department should step in, and a prosecutor and an impartial judge should weigh in on this, because from the space of law, what's law in Texas, this kid did nothing wrong. This kid did nothing wrong. People are in their feelings right now. And the law doesn't go by your feelings. The law doesn't go by your feelings. Okay? The law is not supposed to go by or take into account people's feelings. The law is the law. If stand your ground is stand your ground in Texas and Florida and other places like that, then that's what it is. Stand your ground don't mean you got to run. Stand your ground don't mean you gotta cower and go and hide and whatnot. And like this idiot, I heard this guy Charleston White, who, by the way, if Charleston White is on anybody's platform, and if he's allowed to go on any of these platforms out here, Charleston White, who I call Coonston White, this crackhead, right? This crackhead looking nigga, if he's able to go on people's platforms after this raw and uncut, if he's able to go on and people still watching him, y'all ain't nothing, man. Real talk. If people are able to go up here and listen to this clown after this, he's up here and call this boy a thug and talking about, oh, his parents, he was raised by his mother. He was not raised by his mother. He was raised by his mother and father. He comes from a 2-parent home and his parents are still together. I don't think the Metcalfs are still together. To be honest with you, I could be wrong though. I don't think Austin and the Metcalf, the husband and wife, are still together, or I don't know from what I heard, allegedly. But they painting this kid out to be a thug and a hood, and he came looking for trouble and whatnot. Like I said, it's a whole lot of emotion in this and zero law. But when it comes to so-called black people getting emotional about things like this, oh, let the law speak. It's in the law. This law, it's law when it goes one way, but when it's the law, it comes another way. Oh, the law is not right no more. The law is no more good. He could have did this. He could have did this. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Ain't no coulda, shoulda, woulda. He ain't got a coulda, shoulda, woulda nobody. Because you wasn't there. The people that's saying that black and white were not there. He was there and Austin was there. And Austin's brother was there, who, by the way, changed his story a couple of times. He changed his story a couple of times, where in the beginning he said that they came over there and approached him. You see? And then all of a sudden, oh, he said something, and we said something to him, and it was, he got slick and he started talking reckless and all this other nonsense. All of a sudden, he changed his story. Now they want Austin to be the victim. They want him to be the victim because he's gone. They want him to look like he's an angelic and he's not. He wasn't bullying this kid. They want him to look like the angel. You see. They want him to look like the angel. And they want this kid, Karmelo, to look like the devil. They want him to look like the devil incarnate. While Austin, he's in heaven with angel wings, and he was just so innocent. Stop lying. Stop the cap. Everybody knows what happened. And it's a shame that these news outlets are reporting this, misleading people, lying, leaving out a lot of facts because they're trying to paint Karmelo Anthony and as a criminal, as a evil person by way of public opinion. But here's the thing: public opinion should not be shaping this case. The law should be shaping this case, and according to the law, he did nothing wrong. As much as a lot of people don't like it, as much as a lot of people are trying to make it about race, it's not about race at all. It's clear and cut self-defense. You want to try and move the line because the person who got unalived, as they say. I'm starting to become accustomed to that word. The person who got unalived happened to be white, and a lot of you Caucasian racists have an issue with that. Now the people now surprisingly it's this a conservative guy who has been painted as being racist. I forget what this guy's name is, but it's funny. He's standing up on the side of Karmelo. He's saying Karmelo did, what he did wasn't against the law. And everybody unsubscribing from his channel. That's funny. Whereas you got just as many Negroes, and I call them Negroes because they sitting up here and they sit up here saying this kid did this, that. They also don't know the facts. They don't know the facts of the case. They're just painting this guy to be some angry black young thug and whatnot. And the only reason they doing that is because they trying to score points with Caucasian viewers and trying to get Caucasian viewers because they, a lot of these racist Caucasian viewers like to hear a so-called black person talk down on their own people. They love hearing that. See, because they could go, see, even this black person knows that black people ain't this and that black people ain't that. It's the stereotype again. The stereotype of so-called quote unquote black people. Remember I said that? The whole creation of the so-called black race is based on a stereotype. What do I mean by that? I mean that we as American indigenous people, before they made us black people, before they made us Negroes, I'm talking about the US government, before they classified us as African Americans, black, Negro and all this other stuff. The American indigenous people, us, the Americans, the real Americans, we were known as a trustworthy and hardworking people at one point. But then as the 20th century came and they start making us into a bunch of black savages, we from Africa, oh, we got low intelligence, we got low IQs, all this BS, right? But we didn't have low intelligence, we didn't have low IQs and all this when we were growing crops for these people, when we were building bridges and building buildings, even to the White House, doing construction for these people that nobody taught us. When we were building railroads for these people, when we were doing all this stuff for this country, fighting for this country, building for this country, creating an economic structure for this country, we wasn't all of this black savages and all this other stuff. After everything is done and built and everything's in place and they can enjoy the fruits of our labor, I'm talking about the racist Caucasians in the government, the ones who founded this government, after they start to enjoy the fruits of our labor, from the cotton fields to buildings to railroads and everything, and all our inventions here. Now all of a sudden we ain't got no intelligence, we ignorant, we black, we they calling us something we not. We ain't got no black skin. So with all of that came the stereotypes. Oh, we dangerous people, we murderous people, we killers. Let me tell you something. If that was really true, if black people was inherently violent, because this is the thing they say, black people, so-called black people, and I say so-called because we're not black people, we Americans. We are Americans, American indigenous people, indigenous Americans. If indigenous Americans, aka so-called black people, were so inherently violent, we would have wiped white people out a long time ago. We would have just went on a killing spree and killed as many white people as we can get our hands on. You see, all from racism and everything else that they did to us in this society to destroy white supremacy. We would have did that a long time ago if we were inherently violent. We would have tore this fucking country up. Raw and uncut. We would have tore this goddamn country up and tore them a new ass, and we could just all went out. We would have just blacked out and said, hey, fuck it all, and just tore this whole shit up. They had how we inherently violent, and you had us living in your houses. You had us cleaning your houses, taking care of your children, nursing your children, building the White House for these crackers to sit their funky ass up in there and talk this bullshit about us. We built the house that they sitting in. Our people built that. We did everything and decided fought for this country and everything. Fought for this country and everything and got the shaft after we did it. So who are the real reprobates? Who are the real dishonest people? Who are the real degenerates that could sit up here and have people put their blood, sweat, and everything into this country to get it to where it's at? Because our people, a good 80 to 90% of our labor went into this country to make it, but they did about 20 goddamn percent. They did about 20%. We did about 80 of it. There would be no economy in America if it wasn't for us. White people couldn't have survived in America if it wasn't for us. Not for the so-called Native Americans, but for us, the American indigenous people, the real American Indians. We the reason why they survived here. We showed them how to farm. We showed them how to farm and grow from the land and feed on the land and showed them how to hunt and do that. They didn't know how to do shit when they came here. They didn't know how to do nothing when they came here from Europe. Nothing. We showed them that. And they got the nerve to talk about we violent inherently. Why ain't we out here killing white people then? Why ain't we out here killing white people for all the shit they do? And it ain't, and trust, it ain't because we scared. It ain't because of that. Trust me, it ain't because of that. It's just that, like I said, we're not a violent people like that. And let's provoke, just like anybody else. This kid was provoked. This kid was provoked. If we was really violent, people would be a whole lot of dead white people in the fucking streets. A whole lot of them. But we're not that kind of people. We're not. You see? Exactly. We still in every industry out here. So that's a lie. That's a lie. We got access to white people and everybody else who did us wrong. But do we take vengeance? Do our people take vengeance? We got access to all these people. We can get to all these people if we really want to. But we don't. Because, again, we're trying to live our lives. Just like Karmelo Anthony was trying to live his life. He didn't want no problems. Who goes to a goddamn trap meet looking to hurt somebody? Mm. And they can't get away from the fact. They can't get away from the fact that this kid brought it on himself, man. Nobody wants to, because again, people in their feelings right now. I can understand the father being in his feelings, but listen, Mr. Metcalf, I understand you're hurting. I understand you're a father. I get that. I get that. But don't sit up here and try to make it seem like your son was blameless for what happened. That's really some bullshit right there. And you get your hurt, but don't sit up here and act like your son wasn't responsible for this. Because had he never approached him, had him and his brother and their friends never approached this kid who was by himself, smaller than them and everything else, this would have never happened. This would have never happened. Now, if you ask people, well, if Austin never approached him for about some tent, and then how the hell you gonna tell somebody to get from under a tent in the rain? He was there to see his friends. He's running track. They football players. So if anybody had a right to be there, he had a right to be there. He's a track athlete. They not track athletes. They football players. How he gonna tell somebody to get from under the tent? There was no assigned tents, and it's raining. Why are you bothering people in the rain? That was some bully shit. That's all it was, some straight up bully stuff. They felt like they had the brawn and they could make him move and put hands on it, which really to me is a punk move. That was a punk move. That was a punk move, because I said this before. I said if Karmelo Anthony was 6'8" and over 300 pounds of pure muscle, if he was about 6'7", 6'8", taller than both of them, I guarantee they wouldn't have felt like, well, maybe we should tell him to get from under the tent. They wouldn't have said a damn thing to him. They wouldn't have said, would y'all think he would have said something? Do you think they would have said something to him if he was 6'8", big 6'8" nigga? I'm gonna use the word sorry. I'm just, but whatever. It's popular. But if he was 6'8", 300 something pounds full of pure muscle, and looked like one of them people you don't want to miss, you think they would have approached him? No. They wouldn't have said nothing to him. They wouldn't even looked in his direction, because they know they would have got the brakes beat off of them. So, but they went to a young kid who was by himself, to me, which is some punk shit. That's punk shit. That was a punk move. Bully, you didn't come by yourself. You came with your brother and other people to approach a kid who by himself, who half your size and under 100 pounds. You had 100 pounds on him. So anything could have happened there. They could have beat him to death. Them guys that side, like they could have choked him out, beat him to death. Then what would the answer? Then what would the thing been if Karmelo Anthony would have been dead and Austin would have been killed him? What would have been the thing then? Oh well, y'all would have tried to spin the story. He pulled. Oh, he ran at us with a knife and we had to defend ourselves. Then they would have went with the story, and they would have made it up, because the kid is lying right now. The brother of Austin is telling lies right now. He done lied twice. I'm pretty sure he's gonna come up with a third story. Any really good attorney who is worth anything could expose these lies that this kid is telling. Again, like I said, that was a coward move on their part. And the father should have told them, look, y'all both big. Y'all, people are intimidated by big people, especially small people. Don't go out here bothering anybody, because you don't know how it's going to go. You don't. You cannot predict what's going to happen when you go out here in the world and antagonize people, when you attack people, when you sit up here and bully people. You can't dictate how it's going to go. And let me tell you something. If it would have been the other way around, and a white kid, a skinny white kid, if Karmelo was a skinny white kid, like a white kid, Karmelo size, and it was a bunch of big black football players that was the Austin in them size, and they approached him, and the white kid stabbed the black kid, and that happened, you know what I would have said? The same exact thing. Keep your hands to yourself. He ain't gotta run nowhere. He ain't gotta hide nowhere. This ain't no goddamn this ain't no segregated sundown town. He ain't got to run nowhere. He ain't got to hide nowhere. He ain't got to cower in no corner nowhere. You see, that's what they want black men to do. They want black men to hike up their skirt and run somewhere and hide and go, like they tried to tell James, the guy Bird out there who did that. And by the way, free Sifo Bennett. Free Sifo Bennett. Check up on Sifo Bennett in Florida, who did the exact same thing, stand your ground state. Because they obviously making it clear that stand your ground ain't for you so-called black people. It ain't for y'all. You getting put in handcuffs. So what you're supposed to do is let a white person or any a person, especially white, if they try to attack you, you better run, nigga, run. Run, nigga, run. Disappear, fly off in the clouds, do anything but fight back. Because if you fight back and win, you're getting handcuffs put on you. But if it's the other way around, like Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, who pursued this boy who did nothing wrong, and he had to fight for his life, and this coward ended up shooting him, this young boy taking his life, and they sitting here acting like this was right for him to approach a young man who didn't have no gun, who didn't have no weapon, and shoot this kid and take his life and let him go. They raised money for him. And that's another thing. Same thing with Daniel Penny, who Jordan Neely did nothing to him. All he did was yell on the train. And like I said, they say he was yelling, threatening things, and said, so what? He didn't say anything to nobody. And aren't we always told we're not supposed to take the law into our own hands? We're always told that we're not supposed to take the law into our own hands. You see, we're told that we're not supposed to take the law into our own hands. Right? And then Daniel Penny did just that. He took the law into his own hands. But yet they let him go. They wasn't even going to arrest him. So white males can do whatever they want to do. They can take the law in their own hands, like this kid Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse could go and take a damn a weapon, a AK across state lines, which is, from what I heard, a federal offense. It's illegal. He takes an illegal gun across state lines. He's under age 17, same age, but yet he wasn't looking for trouble. He wasn't looking for trouble. Kyle Rittenhouse went across state and went to a peaceful protest, and even was caught saying that he wanted to shoot some protesters. Now he killed 2 white people and injured another one, and he claimed self-defense, and they let him go. You mean now had a black man did that? What are you doing crossing state lines? Why you got a weapon? Why did you kill on people? Life in jail. They let him go off of a self-defense thing. First of all, why is he going to a protest with a gun? He's not a police officer. Talking about he was going to help law enforcement. You're not a police officer. Last time I checked, you're not allowed to go and just start participating in carrying weapons to police people. You're not a law enforcement officer. Well, so why the hell was he allowed to go across state lines with an AK and possibly create a situation, which he did, a deadly situation, which he did? Because, like I said, that people were saying that he was going around pointing his gun at people and whatnot. He's not a police officer. He's not a police officer. Okay? Now, if you telling me regular people could just go across state lines with weapons and whatnot and get involved, because he would have been black, they would have shot him. The police would have shot him. If they would have saw Kyle Rittenhouse, if Kyle Rittenhouse was a so-called black man walking around with a rifle in that time, they would have drawn down on him and arrested him or killed him. The police would have did that. The police saw him walking around with that. He shouldn't have been not allowed to do that, because he's not law enforcement. He's not law enforcement. But I guess all white males, behind doors, all white males, all Caucasian males can become deputized as law enforcement when they want to pick up a gun and do that. But then if it's a so-called black person do that, you going to jail. What are you doing over there? So they asking about a damn pocket knife that Karmelo had, but they didn't say nothing about Rittenhouse, who crossed state lines with AK. That's looking for trouble. Kyle Rittenhouse was looking for trouble, but they let him go. They let George Zimmerman go. They let Daniel Penny go. People who went looking for trouble, actually went looking for trouble. People who escalated something that didn't need to be escalated. That was going to look for trouble. But in the minds of the retarded racists, the minds of the retarded racist Caucasians, no, that ain't right. He was going to do this. But when your skin is darker, oh, you a criminal. You see, and again, that comes along with everything I was saying about the racist stereotype. That comes along with everything I was saying about that racist stereotype of being black people. That's why we need to drop the whole black thing. See, because black people are going to forever be painted as the criminals and the villains simply off of being called black people. Because the term black deals with when you get into the meaning of black in the dictionary, foul, sullen, egregious, evil, uh, uh, um, degenerate, all the things they say about absent of light, absent of light. And these racist Caucasians, they raise money for all these people, raise millions of dollars for all these people, which brings me to another point. One of the reasons why a lot of the racist Caucasians are angry right now is because Karmelo Anthony is getting support. He's getting financial support. He's getting financial support. And he deserves it. He deserves financial support. You see, he deserves it. He's getting financial support. And they don't like that, because what that shows is that so-called black people, indigenous people, are sticking together. They're sticking together and standing up for what's right. And it's wrong to take this boy's life. It's wrong to have him sitting in jail for any time. If you ain't have Daniel Penny go to jail, if you ain't had if Daniel Penny didn't go to jail, if George Zimmerman didn't go to jail, if what's the other one? Daniel Penny, George Zimmerman, and the other Kyle Rittenhouse, if they didn't go to jail, he shouldn't go to jail. And he really was attacked. You see, he really was attacked. You're gonna sit up here, you're gonna sit up there, and you're gonna sit up here and try to practice racial politics. White men got the right to defend themselves, even if they ain't defending themselves. Even if they want to pick up a gun and do whatever, they ain't got the right to defend. They got the right to defend themselves. But when it's so-called black men, y'all the criminals, you the perps, you the troublemakers. No matter what, that's already framed in their mind. That's already in their head. No matter what they do, these racist Caucasians they're not standing up for what's right. They stand up for what's white. We the only ones over here standing up for what's right. And again, it could have been the other way around. And I still would have said the kid did what he had to do. Like when I said the thing about Bernard Getz, those you might remember the shooting of the team, not the Central Park, but the guys that was on the train who was trying to rob Bernard Getz, and he shot them in the 80s. I said that was right. Wasn't about black and white with me. It's about right and wrong with me. I don't deal with black and white. I deal with right and wrong. Because when black people are wrong, they wrong. When white people are wrong, they wrong. When people are wrong, they wrong. I don't care about black and white. I care about right and wrong. Wrong was what the Metcalfs did. Wrong is what they did. Stop making them innocent. Stop trying to make it seem like they not to blame for this. Because again, you can't get around it. Stop getting in your feelings and emotional, because again, what it shows is that there are a whole lot of degenerates out there. There's a whole lot of degenerates out there who need to grow up, if they want to sit up here and talk about the law, then let the law be the law. You see? Oh, somebody wants to see the Lord shirt? Oh yeah, Lord BMC. I got the that's the company, Lord BMC. Like that? I had to adjust it down. We got a lot of stuff coming. Don't worry, it's coming. The site coming. It's banging. Let's Lord BMC. Site is banging. Don't worry about it. I had to throw one on. You see? Site is coming. All right. Lord BMC. They banging. We got a lot of banging sweatshirts, sweaters, a lot of stuff coming. Jeans, a lot of stuff coming. Lord BMC. You see? So yeah. This one, I just threw one on today. It's banging. You like it? You like it? Yeah. So my point being is that they mad right now because we giving money and raising money for Karmelo Anthony. You see? And yeah, I said I'm gonna give some money. I'm gonna put some money on his thing. I want to put some money on his thing. Because, like I said, it's not right what's being done to him. He got a damn $1 million bail. Why the hell he getting $1 million bail? Why is he getting $1 million bail? You see, why is he getting $1 million bail and whatnot? He's not no flight risk. He ain't never been in trouble before. And like I said, he didn't mean to kill that kid. He didn't mean to kill him. He only stabbed him one time. But like I said, things happen when you in the commission of a crime. And the only people that was in commission of a crime was him, was the Metcalfs. They assaulted this kid. They assaulted him. You see, they assaulted this kid, and that was wrong. You see, and like I said, I don't care about the race. I don't care about black and white. I'm not no goddamn Neanderthal like you racist Caucasians. I'm not no Neanderthal like you simple-minded Negroes that's sitting up here because you trying to kiss white ass and whatnot and trying to Coonston white. No, man, nobody should listen to that nigga no more. He's a complete coon and Sambo. And that officer guy, officer, whatever. I don't know these characters. I was watching Red Supreme. Shout out to Red Supreme. Shout out to Red Supreme. Shout out to who else? Water Guard and a few other guys who was doing stuff. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed, who did a good job covering this. Shout out to Jason Black. Shout out to all the people that did a good job covering this. You see, because again, it's not about color. It's not about race. It's about the law. It's about the law. That's the only place I'm coming from. I don't care about black and white. I care about what's right. The law is right. The law is stand your ground. The law is keep your hands to yourself. And this definitely fits Karmelo Anthony. He shouldn't do no time in jail. None. Not one day in jail should he do. If they didn't have to do no time in jail, then goddamn it, he shouldn't have to do no time in jail. Stop making this a racial thing. Y'all claiming it's a racial thing. No, it is not. It's not a racial thing. It's a right thing. It's a law thing. Law and order, like y'all always preach. And you know what? I agree. Law and order. Law and order. Law and order. That's what it's about. Law and order. You had white and quiet as kept. You got a lot of white people. A lot of white people saying, "Yeah, let the kid Karmelo was defending himself." They want to make it seem like all white people believe that what Karmelo did was wrong. A lot of white people, a lot of people general, not just white, but people general, believe that what he did was right. Stand your ground. We people of law, man. We're not people of, it ain't about black and white. You don't get to remix the law the way you want to make it, unless y'all come out and trying to say, "Oh, stand your ground is only for white males." Really? Really? So then we so-called black men are supposed to be victims, huh? No. Mm-mm. 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 They ain't supposed to be victims. We ain't supposed to be victims for nobody. We've been victims long enough. We've been victims long enough in this country, and this is our country. We built this country, and they got us sitting around here acting like we second-class citizens in our country. You see? They got us sitting around here acting like we second-class citizens in our country, that this is not our country, like we actually came from someplace else. And the kicker is we was here before everybody. Everybody. And we built the economy, we built things here. So if anybody got a right to self-defense, if anybody got a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in this country, it's our people, the real Americans, the real American indigenous people. You see? And all Karmelo Anthony did was exercise his rights as an American. That's all he did. He exercised his rights as an American. And like I said, a lot of people are butthurt right now. A lot of people in their feelings right now. Get out your feelings. Get out your goddamn feelings, because it's the next day coming. It's a new and next day coming where you got a lot of people who ain't gonna be taking this shit. Now, see, what's happening is you got a lot of these people, they trying to send a message. You see, the message really is not even about Karmelo. It's bigger than Karmelo and Austin. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It's about telling black men, so-called black men, really American indigenous people, you ain't got the right to defend yourself. So whoever come and want to take your life, want to assault you, do this, that, and the third to you, you're supposed to just let it happen. That's the statement they're trying to make. You're supposed to shut up and just let it happen. You see, shut up, just like they want us to shut up and be black and African, and not tell the truth about who we are as Americans. No, man, them days is over with, man. Them days is over with. Forget that, man. It's the next day, man. We can't go around being victims for people forever, man. We can't go around being victims to people forever. You see? We have to stand up as men. You see, they don't want us to stand up as men. They want us to act like bitches in this society. They want black men to act so-called. I'll keep saying the word so-called because I don't subscribe to the black thing no more. Black is played out. We should have been on abandoned black, been on abandoned African American. We American. We are American, the first Americans, the only real Americans here. Everybody else came from someplace else. So, God damn it, how is people going to sit up here and dictate to us how we supposed to behave in our country? A country we built. A country we built with our blood, sweat, and tears and everything else. Our blood is in this goddamn soil, man. Our blood is in the damn soil. You hear me? Our blood is in the soil. We done fought every war in this country and got shitted on by this government. Our blood is in this soil. Nobody sacrificed for this country like our people did. Had our families broken up. Had people kill off our people, burn up our towns and cities where all we wanted to do is live in peace because of a bunch of racist ass, jealous, envious, cold-hearted snakes. And we ate it all. We ate it all. No more. No more. I'm a man of law and order. I'm a man of righteousness. I consider myself to be a man of law and order and righteousness. You see? That's what it is. Again, just off pure law and order, this case should go free, man. And again, I'm not a cold-hearted person. I understand what the father of Austin Metcalf. I can't understand it because I haven't lost a child, but I sympathize with him. I do. As a father, I sympathize with him. But I'm gonna tell you something. If my son did something like that, if my son did what Austin did, if my son went over to a little kid, a kid by him and his brothers went to a kid and did what they did, I wouldn't care what race he is, black, white, anything, and the kid killed him. You know what? I'm gonna be hurt. I'm gonna be upset, but I gotta eat it. I gotta eat it as a man because I blame myself for not teaching my sons not to go out in the world and harass people, not to go out in the world and hurt people, not to go out in the world and put their hands on people, not to go out in the world and bully people. Mr. Metcalf, you don't want to take blame for what your son did? You want to put this all on Karmelo Anthony? Are you fucking insane, sir? Excuse my language. Are you insane, sir? You want to wear a cross on your neck and talk about God and Jesus, but is that the way of God and Jesus? Where you sitting up here leaving out parts of the story? Were you sitting up here and you not holding your sons accountable for what they did? Can you sit up here and say any of this would have happened had your sons not did what they did? You trying to get away from the truth because you and your feelings? I know it hurt. I know it hurt. No father, I don't care what race you are. No father wants to bury their child. No father wants to do that. And you shouldn't have had to do that. You shouldn't have had to do that. You should not have had to do that. Had you taught your son the most valuable lesson, keep their hands to themselves. Stay out of people's faces. Leave people alone, especially little people. Especially little people. You see? Especially little people. Listen. Little people are some of the most dangerous people. People who are little, it's just like anything. If you got a rat cornered, and I don't mean to call Karmelo Anthony a rat, but I'm using this if you have any kind of animal, anything cornered, and people are coming at that animal, a rat, I don't care what, that rat gonna crash out and fight for his life. It's gonna attack and jump and bite and do everything to get out of your way. And that's what Karmelo Anthony did. He was cornered. He was cornered and he was threatened. And you got guys over 6 feet tall and you about 5 foot 8. They all got over 100 pounds plus on you, and they telling you, and some one of them grabbing you. You gonna do the quickest thing you could think to do. You gonna grab something to defend yourself. You gonna grab something to defend yourself. And that's exactly what happened. And they know that's what happened. They knew it wasn't malicious because after he stabbed the kid, he said, "Is he okay? I was just defending myself." He told the police that, "Is he okay?" If he meant to kill him, he wouldn't have gave a damn about whether he was okay. He only stabbed him one time to get him up off him. He shouldn't have been on him. Y'all keep trying to get away from that point. If you truly want peace in this world, leave people alone. That's all. This is not rocket science. This is not hard. And again, I'm not trying to incite anything. Far from it. But I am saying this. If you Put your hands on people. If you try to harm people, I don't care who you are. Like I said, it could have been if it was a white kid that did that stabbed a big black. I'd be like he was protecting his life. So you can't say it's about race with me. It ain't about race with me at all. Not at all. I don't do the race thing. I don't pull the race card. It's about right and wrong. Right and wrong. Right and wrong. You can't blame people for protecting themselves. You can't blame somebody for being scared. This idiot Charleston White gonna talk about, yeah, he should have just squared off and fought. Nigga, you didn't square off and fight nobody. When they had a video of you out there and some guys was getting up on you and you had a knife, you pulled out a knife. You quick to say you'll stab somebody or shoot somebody if they come down on you. But then when this kid do it, oh, he a thug and all. Nigga, you just trying to get some white money. That's all. You a coon and a Sambo. Charleston White, Coonston White. Coonston White. The day of the coon is over, man. The day of the coon is over. The day of the Sambo is over. Free Karmelo Anthony, man. Free Karmelo Anthony. And I hope that young man, like I said, and again, condolences, real, and I'm not bullshitting, condolences to the Metcalf family. Condolences to them. I feel sorry for y'all lost. I really do. From as a father. I really feel sorry for your loss. But that's it. I ain't got nothing else on this. So go hit the link down below, please, and support the American Indigenous Street and Music Festival. Go and support the American Indigenous Street and Music Festival. Hit the link down below. Go down there. You know we're doing a street festival in June. All right, we're doing the street festival in June. Support the American Indigenous Street and Music Festival. I'll put the link in there. It's going to be June 21st and June 22nd in Atlanta. Support that. It's going to be at the HBCUs and whatnot, the around the HBCUs and things like that. So it's going to be a good event. So we're trying to get some legs behind. We pushing this. Like I said, it's less than a month and a half away, the American Indigenous Street and Music Festival. So go and support this. We almost at our goal of $15,000. We done got 6,100 so far. So please give to this, subscribe to this. Let's make this happen as a people. This is for us who have American Indigenous roots. This ain't about Pan-Africanism. This ain't about no black anything. No black nothing. We getting rid of the black. I don't deal with the black. No, that's why if you notice I kept saying so-called black. We don't deal with the black thing. So the American Indigenous Street and Music Festival. All right, in this June 2025, donate to this. If you give over $60 to it, like I said, you get a t-shirts and whatnot. We're giving out t-shirts from our old Underlord, the Underlord brand, what I call the workout brand. If you do that, then that's that's what we're doing there. So let's make this happen. Please donate to this and share this. Share this. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Support the channel. Go to Mentellect Patreon, subscribe to my Mentellect Patreon. Only $15 a month. Some of the most raw and uncut, real truths and whatnot that you're gonna hear. I got a new one up called The Rhythm. One's coming up called the it's cool. I do so many recordings, man. But just go and subscribe to Mentellect Patreon. MENTELLECT. Mentellect Patreon. It's in the comments that go down in the section. But really, please subscribe to this American Indigenous Street and Music Festival so that we can celebrate our American roots, our true American roots, our Olmec, Aztec, Inca, Mayan, and American Indian, American cowboy, all the things that our people are here in America, the first of everything. We're celebrating our American indigenous music, our jazz, our blues, our soul, our R&B, our hip hop, everything. We celebrating everything, all things American, from the real Americans, the indigenous Americans, us, the only real true indigenous people of this land. And everybody's invited. Let's have this big old block party. So that's all I got. I'm gonna close out. Oh, and also support the American Indigenous channel. Sister Enra Vanzetta, support her American Indigenous channel, but also support the Mentellect channel. Support the Mentellect channel on Patreon. Become a patron on Patreon, because there's stuff on there I say that I can't say on YouTube for obvious reasons. But that's it. I'm going to close this out in the name of Amen, by the power of Amen. Amen we trust, and Amen we thank, and in Amen we continue forward forever. I am the intellectual Lord, Benjamin Manhattan. This has been High and Mighty Thoughts with me, the intellectual Lord, Benjamin Manhattan. I'll be back here sometime. I don't know if I'm going to be on camera, though. But I'll be back here sometime on, Friday? I'll be back probably on Monday. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'll be back on Monday. But that's it. Good night.
Sublime. It's enjoyable to know you in the concubines. Take off your coats, ladies act like gems. Sit down, Indian styles, you recite these hymns. See, lyrically I'm Mario Andretti on the Momo. Ludicrously speedy or infectious with the slow-mo. Heard me in the 80s, JV's on the promo. Am I never in the quest to get the paper on the caper? But now, let me take it to the Queen side. I'm taking it to Brooklyn side. All the residential questions who invade the air. Hold up a second, son, cause we almost there. You could be a black man and lose all your soul. You could be white and blue, but don't prep the road. See, my is universal if you got knowledge of Polo or Del for self. See, there's no one else who could drop it on the angle. They're cute at that. So, do that, do that, do that, that. Come on. Do that, do that, do that, that. Do that, do that, do that, that. I'm bugging out, but let me get back cause I'm wet. So run and tell the others, cause we are the brothers. I learned how to build bikes in my workshop class. So give me the sword and let's not make it the last. We on the road to some said Quest was whack, but now is that the case? I have a quest to have a mic in my hand. Without that, it's like Kryptonite and Superman. So Shaheed come in with the sugar cuts. Fife towards my name, but on stage call me Dynamite. When was the last time you heard the fight for sloppy? Lyrics anonymous, you never hear me copy. Top notch, baby, never coming less. Sky's the limit, you got to believe up in Quest. Sit back, relax, get up out the path. If not that, here's a dance floor, come move that. Non-believers, you can check the stats. I roll with Shaheed and the brother Abstract. Know the time when Quest is in the jam. I never let a statue tell me how nice I am. Coming with more hits than the Braves and the Yankees. Living mad fat like a oversized man. B, the wackest crews try to diss it, makes me laugh. When my track record's longer than a DC-20 aircraft. So next time that you think you want something here, make something different, take that garbage to St. Elsie. Right. We on the road to my man, going each and every place, the mic in their hand, Chinatown, Spokane, London, Tokyo. Right. We on the road to my man, going each and every place, the mic in their hand, Houston, Delaware, DC, Dallas. Right. We on the road to my man, going each and every place, the mic in their hand, New York, NJ, VA.
We should stay right here.